Since ancient times in China, there have been legends of dead people's bodies standing up and moving. These bodies may be reawakened by magic power, or by absorbing natural energy, or by spirit possession. This is so called in Chinese 僵尸, a zombie. There's a place called Yangxin. An old man and his son owned a hotel in a village outside the town. The hotel was adjacent to the road leading to the town, and many passing businessmen would stay here. At dusk, came to lodging 4 exhausted coachmen. But there were no rooms available. They begged the old man and said,
但求一夕煞雨，更不敢有所责。
The old man thought, there is actually a house available and maybe a good choice for them to rest. So the old man then walked the coachman to the house. The first that catches the eye in the house was an oil lamp that burning on the table. Behind it lays the bier. The body was covered with a paper quilt lying there quietly. The old man said,
吾自负心死，听事室中，子出购材木未归。复室中有帘榻，足4人枕，主不嫌可寝之。
The coachmen were so tired, so they accepted the room and fell asleep within just a second. The night was so quiet that only the breathing of the coachman could be heard. And suddenly, one of the coachmen, who was still asleep, heard some noise coming from the bier. He opened his eyes and saw the body of the woman had sat up, got off the bier, and walked slowly into the bedroom. The dead woman blew on the sleeping coachman one after the other. And the one who was not asleep was very terrified of being the next one. So he secretly pulled up the quilt and covered his head. He held his breath and listened. It wasn't long before the dead woman came over and blew on him just like the other guests. After finishing all these, the dead woman walked out of the bedroom. He heard some noise of the paper quilt and secretly saw the dead woman return to the bier. The coachman was too frightened to make a sound, so he quietly kicked his companion with his leg, but nothing happened at all. He then heard the dead woman sit up. At this time, the coachman could not wait for another second. He grabbed his pants and quietly ran out of the house with bare feet in a turn of the head. The coachman ran and shouted, but no one was awakened. He wanted to knock on the door of the old man's house, but he was afraid of being caught, so he then ran along the road to the town. In this cold night, the coachman ran as fast as he could. The sound of footsteps of the dead woman was right behind him. At a distance, he saw a temple and heard wooden fish bathing in the temple. He hurried to knock on the door. The monk in the temple heard the strange noises and did not dare to open the door immediately. Meanwhile, the dead woman chased up. The coachman ran over to the big tree outside the temple. She jumped to the left, he hit to the right. She jumped to the right, he hit to the left. This makes the dead woman angry. She then stopped and stood still, the coachman gasping for breath. All of a sudden, the dead woman sprang forward with her arms, reaching out from both sides of the tree to grab him. The coachman fell to the ground. She hugged the tree instead and gradually stiffened. When it's quiet outside, the monk slowly walked out. He saw the coachman lying on the ground as if he was dead. But he felt heat on his chest, so he took the coachman back into the temple. After a long time, the coachman slowly woke up. The monk asked him what had just happened, and he told him his story. In the morning, at dawn, the monk went out to check the big tree outside the temple. And sure enough, he saw a woman's corpse was ridging in the tree. The frightened monk reported to the county officials, who then came to check it out with his attendants. The dead woman was clinging to the tree with her fingers stuck in. They pulled her away from the tree with all their might, leaving a few finger holes in the tree. It looked just like holes drilled with iron. The body of his daughter-in-law was missing, while 3 coachmen dead in the bedroom. The old man was shocked and panicked. When people sent the body back, he got to hear the whole story. The coachman who survived cried to the official,
身死人出，今一人归，此情何以细想呢？
Hearing these words, the official gave him some money and wrote him a certificate. Then led him back home.